We are still in the time of COVID, and we should not lower our guard yet. In the first reading, we heard the continuing story of Tobit and Anna and their son Tobiah, and the healing of Tobit, and the getting the wife for Tobiah of her, yes. These experiences narrated from the Old Testament can lend understanding to the gospel reading for today, which presents to us the reality that even though the Jews had this great respect for David, he is not the Son of God, and that was underlined by Jesus' preaching. In the gospel, we can interpret that as a deepening of our understanding for who is God for us. And oftentimes, especially during this time of the pandemic, we rediscover God through our own pain, through the pain of the others whom we see suffering. And because of that, we discover a loving and merciful Father. And from that experience, our capacity to be merciful and compassionate is once again awakened, generated, so that we continue the love that we have understood from our experience of pain and suffering, and pushed us, or probably moved us closer to the Father, who is that loving and merciful Father that helps us in time of our need. That was the experience of Tobit, experience of Anna, experience of Tobiah, through the Archangel Raphael. Today, as things are getting better, we should not neglect this lesson. Oftentimes when things get better, we move away from God. We become focused on ourselves, our desire to fulfill our needs, our own projects, and God becomes again somebody by the wayside, or we invoke Him in time of our dire need. To be reawakened on the presence of God means to every day, every minute, every second, decide to be with God. All our choices, all our judgments should come from this intimacy that we have learned through our pain and suffering, and never move away from that. Our capacity to be human, our capacity to form a community stems from this, from the Father who loves the Son, and the Son loving the Father and the Holy Spirit. The formation of the community based on the Holy Trinity, that capacity to give, that capacity to understand the other. That's the meaning of the gospel for today. To know God, to know Yahweh, to know God the Father, not only through our learnings in the Bible, but through our experience of pain and suffering. There, we are released from that when we trust our painful experiences in the caring of the Father. In Matthew, Jesus says, "Come to me, all who labor and are burdened, and I will give you rest." And in the Psalms, Yahweh's compassion is repeated as the rock of our salvation. So today, as we reflect once again on the experiences of Tobit, Anna, and Tobiah, and the conversation of Jesus with these Jews, our knowledge of God is depends so much on our capacity to be intimate with the Father and the Son and the Spirit. And oftentimes, this experience would pass through pain and suffering.